Challenging Tuesday Chats. And as a little bit of a difference, I thought that I would interview a sixth form student instead of a head teacher. So I don't know who I've got here, but perhaps you could tell us who you are and what school you're at.
So I'm the sixth former here at Skipper's Hill. My name is Phillip Makhouli. And thriving here, thriving.
Well, actually, I didn't think that Skipper's Hill had sixth form.
They made a special allowance for myself and my sister.
Brilliant. Do you have a second role as well as being a student?
Oh, I do a part-time headship here as well.
Ah, okay. Well, that will explain it. Well, it's great to see you. Anyway, let me just check my notes. There's this young chap who's been at Skipper's for a year. Is that you?
Yes, it is. What an easy first year as well.
Hasn't it been a marvelous first year to be ahead? Fabulous.
Yes, nice, easy break into it.
Well, look, Phil, you've been there for a year, and is it what you expected?
It's a strange one, isn't it? Because the first term, I absolutely loved every single element of it. And then we had that lovely decision by Boris at 8 p.m. on the Monday night after he was on Andrew Marshall at the weekend saying, yes, absolutely, schools will be back. And then by 8 p.m. we were told that no, we will not. So it was kind of weird. I loved it. It was more than what I was expecting, as in better than what I was expecting. And then it's a completely new experience that second term. And then it's back to the wonderful experience I had now. Having the children in, we're bringing parents on site just now as well with Woodland Walk and Talk. So it's back to that kind of wonderful experience where the whole community is involved.
And how different has it been for you, Phil, from your previous role to becoming a head?
Yeah, because really interesting. Because previously, you have your niche. So kind of the director of teaching and learning, I was overseeing all of that. And obviously, that's a huge role in itself. But you're kind of overseeing that now with every other element on it as well. And you are the one really that final decision is made with. People, yes, I give the responsibility to my staff, but a lot of them still want that kind of final say-so before having that kind of confidence sometimes to know they're getting fully back.
So what have you really enjoyed about being the boss? And what have you disliked?
Yeah, the dislike. And I've liked so many elements of it. And I think you probably experienced with the summer review when you came here earlier this week, is I'm a big fan in collaborative working. I mean, there's something called collective teacher efficacy, which has been proven by John Hattie back in 2016 to be the biggest impact on pupil outcomes. Kind of all the teachers working together, kind of common actions, common beliefs and thoughts. And that leads to the biggest impact on a child's outcome. So therefore, implementing that, which I believe passionately about, and then driving forward with that as well is really exciting because you're kind of leading that. And then what you feel really passionate about, you're disseminating and leading through that as well. Now, the dislike part, as you know, I'm a very optimistic person. I'm a very positive person as well. So disliking something doesn't come easy to me. And I really do mean that. And I have thoroughly enjoyed so many aspects of it. And, there are challenging parts to it. But in general, I've absolutely loved it.
So yeah, well, we've heard about what you've really enjoyed about it, but what is that dislike?
Yeah, so for example, today's been one of those days where there's a lot of back-to-back meetings, and obviously driving forward so many interesting and exciting parts. But it's that daily face-to-face opportunities to be with the children.
Yeah.
So, for example, I was being told off the other day by a business manager that I've got to stop doing all the duties that I'm doing at lunchtimes. I said, no, I'm not giving that up, because that is a guaranteed ring-fence time that I can spend with the children and nothing interferes with that. But unfortunately, the rest of the time is away from that.
It's managing that time, isn't it? It's quite tricky.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you're really pushing and driving the school forward.
Yeah.
So many things to invest in.
Look, Phil, it's clear that you're a modern educational thinker, particularly in terms of learning and teaching. Can you tell us a little bit about your philosophy around that area?
Yeah, and I guess mine kind of flits between kind of the traditional with the modern, because I think there's a lot of good things that has traditionally been done. And so for me, first and foremost, all kind of learning and teaching is built on making sure the children feel safe, secure, and happy. And the best educators all around the world, for forevermore in time, has made sure that was implemented first. So I want the children to be feeling stimulated by what they're doing, but enjoying what they're doing as well. And then on top of that, you can lead on with your kind of learning and teaching initiatives. I like to make sure that there's a good core knowledge for the children. And then from there, you can then go forth with all of your exciting project-based learning or problem-solving aspects as well, where they're applying what they know. But I'm a big believer in ownership, the children taking the ownership of their learning. And we'll do that through a number of ways here at Skippers as well. And once the child know themselves, one as a learner and as a person, they then can go forward and make sure that they are taking a big part and challenge themselves to progress themselves, having that dialogue with their peers. So moving forward, they're learning through feedback, whether that's for themselves or for others. And then from there, you'll see that kind of engagement and stimulation with what they're doing and thoroughly enjoying it from that.
Well, I'll tell you what, Phil, that sounds a lot different from when I first started teaching, and I'm much more productive, I have to say, and looking at the children and having them at the centre of it. So that sounds great. Phil, you haven't always been a teacher, have you? You've had a previous job.
Yeah, so when I always laugh when I say what I used to do, because people automatically think maybe Homer Simpson and when he's working at a nuclear power station. So I used to be an electrical engineer in the nuclear industry.
Wow. So quite different.
It is quite, it's a massive transition, but incredibly worthwhile. And I'm so glad. So at the time, a little bit reticent about moving, because obviously it's extremely well thought of, well paid job. But I had to follow what my heart was saying. My wife was amazing in encouraging me to do that, even though I wasn't earning for a year while I was training and everything like that. And we moved to Aberdeen. So a lot of difficulties with pursuing that dream, but yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world.
Great. Well, I'm glad you haven't. Phil, head teachers, I'm told, are busy people, but do you have time to do anything else? What do you do in that spare time?
Yeah, so that's interesting as well. And I think a lot of people felt this, the first lockdown, they thought, wow, there's certain things I can cut back in my life. So some people are talking about, giving up golf and things like that, because it's just the effort of going out to do it. So I think a lot of us have turned full circle since then. So now I was going to give up my football once again, retiring for the injury and old age and pain. But it's a funny story that happened last night that I can get to as well. So yes, I've gone back to playing football again. So I play in a local league on a Monday night, and then the Thursday is really nice. A lot of local people around the area come and play football at Skippers Hill. And it was just funny last night. Actually, for once, I played really well, scored some lovely goals. And then I was running down the line chasing a ball, and I suddenly realized how old I was. I stumbled over and I went crashing into this solid metal fence. Ooh. So I've got cuts and scrapes and bruises to prove that old age is definitely catching up on me.
Well, I'll tell you what, it doesn't look as though it is. But when it comes to all of us, let me tell you, Phil. So you're right. Right at the beginning, you said, it has been challenging to be in education during the past 12 months. But do you think, if when we can come out of it, there will be any silver linings that you will take out of the last 12 months?
Yeah, I think there's a lot. There's kind of learning and teaching kind of initiatives, developments. AI has made some inroads in what we can do within lessons. And it's interesting conversations we've been having recently about trialing how we can use that in the classroom. Because obviously, traditionally, teachers would be differentiating for the different ability groups in the classroom, say 3 to 5 ways. That's a huge workload. Whereas when you're using AI, you can naturally differentiate for every single child's need, which is really exciting. So we're kind of experimenting with how that actually looks and feels and works within the classroom. I think what also has happened, I think from the first lockdown to this one, is we realize that we need human interaction. We can't be solely reliant on these Chromebooks, on these laptops the whole time. We want that human interaction, whether that's people saying, I'll never go into the workplace to suddenly now saying we need that. There's a certain buzz, there's a certain camaraderie, bouncing ideas around each other comes from there. So yes, I think there's that kind of healthy balance moving forward. Yes, the children need certain skills moving forward, and we will produce that always in our children. But then there's the balance between the human element as well with that.
Well, Phil, thanks for that. Now, on these Tuesday chats, I play a little challenge, which I give you two words or two phrases, and you tell me which one you prefer.
Right.
And it tells anybody watching a lot about you. So, you ready?
Yes.
Great. Here we go. Beach or a holiday with history attached?
Ooh. I'm going to say beach because I'm really missing the north of Scotland and being by the sea. So I'm up from John O'Groats. I'm up from there, and therefore I'm really missing that at the moment.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just thinking about the John O'Groats and beach and howling gale, but nevertheless, it's certainly a beach. Okay. Celtic or Rangers?
Okay, that's quite offensive. Celtic.
Celtic.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, they've done pretty well. Haven't they?
Yeah, that's painful. That's incredibly painful one this year. Yes, that's a team I've supported for a long time now. And interesting enough, my brothers have gone away to support Rangers, so you can tell who the glory hunters are and the loyal ones.
Boris Johnson or Nicola Sturgeon?
I'm wondering, I'm going to get some abuse from my friends, I think, here. Boris Johnson.
Wow. Okay, good. Neutron or electron?
Ooh.
How about that?
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm going to go for electron because it's nice and whizzy.
Lots of energy. I suspect it's more like you than a neutron. Pen or keyboard?
Yeah, I'm still pen.
Still pen? I'm
still pen. I think I just find it much more creative. I like to do it like that.
Yeah, cool. Okay. Proclaimers or the City of Glasgow Pipe Band?
A lot of memories with the Proclaimers. Still love the Proclaimers. A lot of my childhood there.
So you're going to go with the Proclaimers and
go with the Proclaimers.
Okay. And last one here. Porsche or Land Rover Defender?
Yeah, Land Rover Defender.
Really?
Yeah, just what you can do there, exploration, just getting off the main road, everything like that. So that's a lot what Skippers is like. Just getting off that.
Oh, I love the way you keep bringing it back. Brilliant. Phil, thank you so much. And I know you've come in especially in the Tuesday of half term. So I really appreciate that. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the week.
I thoroughly will do. Thank you so much for inviting me, Greg, even though it is the 9th one.
Well, that's very true. Phil, thanks very much.
Thanks, Greg.